Yes, I did give myself a buzz cut, and yes, I plan to go further, but that's not the point of this video. We'll get to that later on. And for those of you worried about me, no, I haven't gone mad. Probably. Anyways, I'm at a turning point here in this channel. A little bit of a history lesson for you. I had a plan, and then the algorithm changed, and that kind of tossed that out the window. So I'm like, okay, we'll go with the backup plan. And the backup plan involved me writing D&D content, and then the OGL thing hit, and then that got tossed out the window. And then I just improvised from there, because I figured maybe I'd try and make the best of a bad opportunity. Not bad opportunity, bad circumstances. Find an opportunity within those bad circumstances. So I decided to not give up, and I'm gonna do my best anyways, and we'll see where life takes me. But I function best when I have a plan, when I have a little bit of structure, right? So I'm to the point where I need to buckle down and get on track, figure out what it is I'm doing exactly. I can't just keep improvising my way through this entire content creator career, right? That's currently where I'm at right now. So I'm figuring things out, right? Because I needed to do a reassessment as far as tabletop related stuff goes. I'm still interested in it. I'm still going to make a lot of tabletop content, but I'm not entirely sure I want to full commit and just make that the only thing I do. I've also realized that since I've started live streaming again, I've been very much enjoying live streaming, and I'd like to do more of that. And there's a lot of things you can do with live streams in terms of editing those videos down and turning that into content. There's other little show ideas that I realized, you know what? It's a good idea, but also it's work I don't enjoy doing, or it's work that would take too much time and isn't worth it at this point in time. There's certain things that would definitely be worth it later on once I reach a certain threshold of success, right? Or notoriety, but that just aren't doable right now. So I've needed to make some hard decisions in terms of killing some dreams for the short term, and then maybe revisit them somewhere down the road. So there's been a lot of thinking and balancing things behind the scenes, but I think I know where I want to go. And it's not conventional. I've talked to my friends about this, and they have concerns. But I think they're ultimately wrong. It's not the sound path, the wise path. The wise path is commit to a grind, be a robot, make the same content over and over and over and over again for maybe 3 years or so, and then hopefully you're successful. I don't plan to do that because I want to attain a certain degree of success, at least enough to be able to pay rent, right? In a hopefully a time frame of less than a year. I think that's the goal. It's less than a year. Now, for some of you, that's like, oh, you're entitled and full of shit, and I hate you. And it's like, whatever. I don't care. I think that in the age we live in, it should be perfectly normal for someone to wish to make money off from something that they do well enough to make money off from that skill set. I think that providing value for people and asking for donations or getting to the point where sponsorships become a thing, that I don't think that selling out should have the stigma that it does have for some people. I think that when you get to obscene amounts of money, yes, there can be moral quandaries, and we can get into that, but I want to be able to eat well enough to work out. I don't think that's too much to ask for. I want to be able to move closer to my family, or be able to not have to rely heavily on them, send money to them, allow my dad to retire, right? There's certain goals like that I find to be noble. I know that my motivations for pursuing wealth in as short an amount of time as possible comes from a good place. If you don't believe in that, that's fine, but you're not me. And I need to do right by me, and I need to do right by my community. I need to do right by the people in my life that I care about. Anyways, I'm a creative that likes to bounce between projects. I don't like being pinned down, and unfortunately, YouTube wants you to be pinned down. It wants you to be consistent. It wants you to not be a creative spirit, because it wants people to consistently watch the videos. They want the numbers to go up, right? So when you make a certain type of video, and it performs well, and I do a live stream and it performs poopy because it's just not a topic people care about, because I'm just like writing something that nobody cares about, or reading something nobody cares about, playing a game that nobody cares about, right? Then the numbers go down, and YouTube's like, oh, okay, got it. This person's dying. This is not a channel we want to promote. This is not good content. We don't care anymore, right? Or if you post a different video that's not the type of video that your audience is there for, right? So like, an example, let's say I make a video on Fire Emblem ROM hacking, right? That's an interest of mine, and that while it is writing and game design related, which is content I plan to make, it's not everyone's cup of tea. Perhaps the tabletop people here aren't there for that. Or let's say I make a video about Bionicle lore. Some of the writers and people nostalgic for it would probably enjoy that, but the people there for Pokemon or for Fire Emblem or tabletop people, right? They might not be there for that. So there's certain videos that may overperform, and there's certain videos that may underperform. And basically, if I were to run and do everything that I want to do on the same channel, the way I have currently been doing it, YouTube will not like me and growth will be slow. So what I need to do is figure out ways to grow outside of YouTube, or ways to make growth on YouTube a bit more consistent. Hopefully that makes sense. And some of this is in theory crafting, right? Not everything's necessarily set in stone in terms of the YouTube algorithm and so on and so forth. But my understanding of it leads me to this conclusion, and I could be wrong. But what I think would serve me better is to have a focus on building community first and foremost, not necessarily the content itself. Obviously, you need the content to create that community and to get your name out there and have people come to the channel and join the community and begin interacting with it. So I'm not saying like, oh, I'm not going to make content. I'm going to be making content. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But I think that's the focus, at least immediately, is I want to go and make a community Discord server, which is something I didn't want to do because that's a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort. And I've run servers in the past, and I like to say that I can be very successful at them. But at the same time, like, we'll say I have a tragic backstory and I have certain hang-ups and concessions when it comes to that kind of thing, to keep things nice and vague and easy so we can keep moving on. But I think that I do need to overcome that, right? I think I do need to have that server, that place where people can come and interact with each other and interact with me, because I can't set up a parasocial relationship where I interact with everyone, right? To a degree, the community itself has to carry some of that water. The people that are there for the content I make do need to be there for each other. We do need a place for them to flock and congregate, right? And so the Discord will hopefully be that. I also plan to live stream a lot more. I guess I kind of already am. So I guess business as usual, but on a different channel. The short of it is, I think what I'm going to go with is a 3-channel system. I could easily go and make 5 or 6 channels. I'm going to show restraint and not do that initially, because I will go crazy if I do that. That's not true. I won't go crazy. I'll enjoy myself, but also not grow very well. And the community will go crazy. There we go. That's a better way of phrasing that. But I think that I want a live stream channel that's separate, and that can just be anything. That can be any kind of content. The live stream channel does not need to be consistent. The only thing consistent about it is that it does live streams, and that's it, right? And there's going to be one that's going to be focused more on writing, game design, tabletop stuff, storytelling, advice, that kind of stuff, right? And there's going to be one that's more gaming focused, that anything from the live stream channel that can be edited down will be, or at least edited down reasonably, right? So that'd be where like your stream compilations go. Or if I want to review any content or talk about any kind of a trailer for a game, let's say, right? That's where that would go. Is anything that's like video game focused, that's what that channel would be. Because if I put all that on the writing and world building and game design channel, there is some overlap. There's going to be a lot of overlap, right? But not everyone's going to be there for that. There's also a lot of times where I'm going to be working on projects of mine, and again, not everyone's there for that. So hopefully by having things segmented, people that are there for the live streams will be there for the live streams, right? The people that are there for the tabletop and writing and storytelling content will be there for the tabletop storytelling and writing content. The people that are there for just the funny video game shenanigans where I yell at the TV screen for too long, they'll be there for that. And so ideally, when YouTube looks at each of those individual channels, because they don't understand that those 3 channels are necessarily the same. I mean, I'm sure a human could figure that out fairly easily, but I'm working with robots here, right? When the robot looks at each of those individual channels, they see, okay, gaming content. I'm going to go put this in front of gaming content people in the recommended zone. And so long as the videos like do somewhat consistent, which considering that there's nothing there but those gaming videos instead of like the occasional dud live stream, right? Assuming that that's consistent, that will see growth, right? Same with the storytelling and writing stuff. So long as the people that are there for that keep being there for that, that will see growth, hopefully. And then of course the live stream, it's just a home base for me to do my live streams. Hopefully people enjoy them. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But again, it's dividing it 3 ways. Hopefully the 2 actual channels will be consistent. And then of course for the live stream channel, yeah, we could put together a live stream schedule is what I'm leaning towards right now. Is having set hours and set days of the week that are guaranteed streams. At least a guaranteed start time. I think that would do well. My point with all that is that I think going through with that kind of strategy while having a central location for the community to come together, being the Discord server, that's what was the word for it? Funnel, right? It's a funnel. It's a community funnel. Regardless of which of those 3 channels you found the community through, you can still go to that Discord. And then basically my aspirations, the way I want to do things, can be very complicated. There's a lot of different topics. There's a lot of different projects. There's a lot of different types of media that I care about and that I enjoy and that I'd like to make content on, that sort of thing. The best way I can think of to do it without it turning into just a mess that is intimidating and people don't like is to kind of have an opt-in system. So we'll get to how I plan to do that for the Discord server as well. But in terms of the channels, you can see that, if you want the gaming stuff, you can subscribe to the gaming channel. If you want the tabletop and storytelling stuff, you can subscribe to that channel. If you want the live stream stuff, you can subscribe to that thing. And then you just don't have to necessarily be subscribed to all 3. You necessarily have to watch all 3. You can kind of opt into certain types of content. Like maybe you're just there for the live streams. That's all you care about is you enjoy being part of the community and interacting with me and interacting with the other people in the chat. Great. There you go. That's all you care about. You don't care about the videos themselves. That's A-okay by my book, right? Maybe all you care about is the tabletop videos. You want to hear me going over like a module or something like that, or talking about DM advice or something like that. And then you subscribe to that channel, and any video that looks like that, you click on it and you're good to go, right? You can kind of opt into certain types of content. Is what I'm trying to do. Hopefully that'll make stuff a bit more consistent and less confusing than if I were to just put it all on one site. Because I don't want people to like subscribe and then get dull to the notifications or turn off the notifications or something like that and be like, oh, this isn't a video for me. If like only 1 out of 4 videos is for me, then like they're not going to be engaging with it and they're not going to care about it and so on and so forth. But if we segment it like this, ideally they will be wanting to engage with it every single time, right? Hopefully that makes sense. And then as far as the community goes, I think what I want to do is work with some kind of bot that lets you opt into roles, and those roles will unlock certain parts of the server. So I want the Discord server itself to be fairly simple at first appearance, right? Things can get very intimidating very quickly and very overwhelming when you have like 50 gazillion chats. And I'm over exaggerating, but you know what I mean, right? So ideally, we have a role where it's like, okay, if you care about this project then or this variety of projects, right? Then this will give you access to this little kind of drop down thing. And you could push the button. They were kind of like folders, right? You can kind of collapse the list of those chats, and then you can mute that list. And in some cases, you might not even have access to some of those lists. So you can just opt out of all the roles and not have any of the roles, and then things are very simple. You probably have just like general memes and like a few other simple vanilla type stuff, right? But if you do care about those projects, you can effectively opt into being able to participate there and read that and so on and so forth. I think I also want to have certain addable roles be a thing, and maybe addable chats, not necessarily addable chats. How do I phrase this? So typically having an announcement section is very good. What's very bad is when people mute that announcement section, because then nobody gets to see the announcements. And so the temptation, of course, is to at everyone every single time you go live, every single time you post a video. But if you do that, people will very quickly mute those announcement sections. So I think I want to not do that. I think I do want to have some separate chats for that, right? So it's like, if you want to be notified when I go live, you can opt into this role. If you'd like to be added when I go live, you can opt into this role, right? And then announcements itself can stay to like community announcements, or maybe we have like a third one that's video announcements. That could work. Just server announcements, video announcements, live stream announcements, and then those latter two you can kind of opt into addable roles if you'd like. But anyways, that's the big idea, right? That's the direction I plan to go. I believe that will allow me to have the kind of flexibility I need, because then I can plop myself down on any given day and be like, I want to work on this. I go live, I start working on this. Or I want to play this. I go live, I start playing this, right? And then on some of those other days, of course, then I'm like, okay, well, I think that live stream went very well. There were some funny moments there. Let me go grab the footage for that and edit that down and then stick it on the channel, right? Or, oh, I had this conversation about this commonly misunderstood mechanic in D&D. I can now go and quickly film a video about that and then put that out there, right? Hopefully, this will put me in a situation where I can be flexible and maintain that kind of creativity and flexibility that I need to maintain, to not go insane. But then also like be consistent and hammer away at things where I can just wake up and work, right? Because right now that's not where I'm at. Right now I'm planless and rudderless, and I don't have the kind of a skeleton and consistency that I'd like, as seen by this last week of like no videos, right? Because I was busy figuring things out and also being depressed. Like, no, I'm not going to go into that, but it is what it is, right? But I think that if I do put in the time and effort to set myself up for success now, that will pay off and things will be good to go, right? Hopefully that makes sense. I promised I'd talk about my hair, so we'll talk about that. I always had like bangs for the most part growing up, and that was an okay look. I don't know. I didn't like it as much as other people seem to like it. So I grew my hair out and I put it back into a ponytail, right? I liked long hair. That's what I decided I liked, and so then I had that through the latter year of high school, through what bit of college I did, and then through my first proper job, was I had that ponytail, and I really liked it. The problem is, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm kind of balding in front, right? So once I noticed that, the ponytail didn't look as good, and I'm like, well, why does it not look as good? Well, there you go, right? So I'm like, okay, well, let's experiment, let's figure things out. So I did. And oftentimes having short hair and just owning that you're balding tends to look better than if you try and like cover it up with like comb overs and so on and so forth. So I did, and I experimented with a lot of different short hairstyles that I thought would work okay with my head shape and with my current hairline. And some of them did, but none of them really worked. So I'm like, well, I should probably try bald at some point in time. Just rock the bald look. And I kept putting that off, and I think I'm done putting that off. I think I'm going to give it a shot. This buzz cut looks okay, so if I need to fall back on it, I could fall back on it. It's not the worst thing in the world. But I think I am going to, within the next week, shave my head. The only reason I'm not doing it right now is, let me see if I can line up right. If you see all these little red dots in my hair, I'm worried that if I were to shave my head right now, I would damage those areas and cause scarring and cause issues. So I'm going to try and wait for those to heal first. I also want to get some more practice in, because I never really got taught how to shave. I didn't have facial hair when Dad was in the house, and then I don't know. I never really asked past that point, because I did live with my dad again past that point. It just slipped my mind, right? So I've always just used water and just put up with the razor burn, and not really properly learned how to properly shave. So that's why I don't have the stubble right now. Well, I have a little bit because I shaved yesterday, but that's why I shaved, because I liked the way I look with stubble. Like, I can't grow a beard, which frustrates me, because if I could grow a mustache or a beard, oh boy, I would do that in a heartbeat. I love that kind of stuff, but I can't. But the stubble, if kept at the right length, I think looks pretty good. But I shaved it off because I'm practicing, right? And I didn't do well, but that I did some research, and I think oils, and finally not using water, and instead like actually using shaving cream, ideally that does better. I also want to try and improve skincare, because obviously I'm going to need it if I'm going to start shaving the top of my head. That's a big thing there. People are like, oh, bald is easy mode. No, bald is not easy mode. I need to learn a lot and adjust a lot, and hopefully I do an okay job. So I'm going to wait for the stuff up here to heal a little bit before I attempt that, and I'm also going to practice a little bit down here with the new oils and shaving cream and whatnot, and ideally things are good to go. So that will happen in the near future, and then I'll probably, unless I really, really hate it, and I give up immediately, I'm probably going to rock the bald look for at least a month, if not more. Try and give myself some time to adjust to it, because like looking at the video feed right here, right? Yeah, I look weird. I'm not sure I like it, but whenever I stop and think about it, it does look good, but it doesn't look like me, and I think that's just because I'm not used to seeing myself like that, right? So I'm going to give myself some time to hopefully get over that. I've also discovered part of why I couldn't get my hair to consistently sit well with the previous hairstyles is because my hair isn't even. So you'll see that there's two little spots where the balding goes in, and it's normal over here, and it goes deeper over here. There we go. Let me see if I can get that lined up right. You can see how that goes? Hold on. There we go. Okay, so that's about the limit over here. And then this goes all the way over here. So you can see it's a little bit lopsided in terms of how that lines up. Which is good information, and then maybe I can use that with my next hairstyle if I do grow it back out. But for right now, it's like, oh, well, that's just yet another reason to shave my head, because then I don't have to deal with it at all. Oh, maybe I can just rock the bald look, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. And ideally, I can hopefully put together something with my lower facial hair, so it's not just bald. But if I shave everything, just be nice and clean, that could look well. That could look well. But I think I might try and do something with my chin. I think it might be fine to just do like this middle section here and just shave everything else, but just the middle section, and it'll still be patchy and stubbly and whatnot and not look amazing. But I don't know. I'll play around with it. We'll see. I'm feeling things out. And maybe this isn't the time to feel things out when I'm in the middle of launching things, right? Branding is important, and if I'm the face of my brand, I probably should be consistent with my appearance, but it is what it is, right? I have to do it at some point in time in life, and so why not now? I can't put it off forever. I'm rambling at this point, but that's where I'm at. I'm figuring things out. I think I've got things figured out. I'm going to be working diligently. There we go. towards getting the Discord up, towards getting those 2 channels up and get that structure up. In the interim, I do need to continue to make tangible progress, otherwise I go spiraling. So even though I just said that I shouldn't be live streaming on this channel, I'm gonna keep live streaming on this channel for the time being, just so that I feel like I'm doing something. I know that I'm technically doing something, but I have this weird stigma about work behind the scenes that I become miserable if I work too long behind the scenes without something tangible to show for it, right? Hopefully that all makes sense. Anyways, happy buttons exist here, right? I'd say share, but I mean, this video is basically an update video. I'm not sure it's worth sharing with like your relevant communities and so on and so forth. But the short of it is, we're gonna go for a 3-channel system. I'd been avoiding making a new Twitch account because I don't want to. I had hoped to go back to my previous Twitch account eventually, once I'd established myself a little bit more. But I think I am just gonna go make an alt and try and live stream to both the YouTube channel and the Twitch account. So we're effectively making 4 things. I need to figure out the branding for that. I might rebrand, or I might just have them be derivative names, right? Another thing I'm considering is doing VTubing instead. I like the camera. I like how personal I can be with it. I like using me as the brand. I like being Derek, right? But part of me thinks that maybe it'd be better if I wasn't Derek, right? If I was playing a character, maybe things would be better. So I might experiment with that technology a little bit. We might do a proper rebranding, but for right now, I guess I'm just gonna go work on that. Go work on the Discord server, figure out hair stuff, and then go from there. I think this all makes a lot of sense. I think that this system will work for me. I know it goes against conventional wisdom and is against the grain, but also I'm of the opinion that what works for YouTubers years ago does not necessarily work right now. You also got to remember that they themselves, they have a different kind of content. They have a different kind of style. They are not you. The time period in which they came to prominence, right, is not the time period you are coming to prominence. It is not the same kind of content that you are making. I think that you can steal from others. You can steal inspiration from other YouTubers, and you should be looking at them. But to a degree, you do need to be original. You do need to go with the direction you think is correct for you and your content. And that's my game plan, and I hope it will pay off. Bye.